And Rising, welcome to your weekly Lunar Living live stream. I'm Colina Casa, Satmom, S-A-T, excuse me, MOM.com. So this week we are in the waning moon. The theme is release, rebalance, and reorient. The theme of this waning moon comes from the full moon in Libra, and it kind of governs this whole release period. So this Monday morning moment, or whenever you happen to catch it, is a great time to return to your body, to your breath, and the rhythm of the moon. So the moon offers us the most accessible, natural focal point to come back into natural rhythm with the earth's cycles and understand much more deeply and innately our own unique natural inner rhythms. So again, we're in the waning moon now. So we just had the full moon last week, full moon in Libra. So Libra is all about relational capacity and personal balance. So it's not a time to be taking drastic energies and cutting people off and this and that. It's a time to notice where we've overdone or underdone, where we need to come back into balance, and gently, using our awareness and our consciousness, allow that shift to begin. So the waning moon is integration, softening, release. And the way balance comes back into our lives is through softening those hard parts that kept us out of balance, not compromising our boundaries and standards, but having them fully whole and innate and grounded and present. They can be so present and also soft. And this translates directly into our bodies, our connective tissues, our fascia, and the plasma, which is the structured water that lives in our bodies, creating more space for flow. So our modern lives tend to coach us that success and victory are all about linear accomplishment, day to day hormonal cycles. That's a masculine hormonal cycle. The masculine hormonal cycle refreshes 24 hours. The feminine hormonal cycle, no matter what point you are at in your life, is a 28-day cycle. And during different parts of our lives, like when women are in their bleed times, in that phase of life, not just in the portion of the month, but in that whole phase of life, the hormones move more drastically. And once that settles and recalibrates itself, we don't just transfer to a masculine hormonal schedule. It's just not quite as intense and critical after the moving through menopause and the settling into the new embodied wisdom of the elder years. So the waning moon, especially in Libra, is not about pushing. It's the time to let go. Soften the edges, soften the grip. No need to cling to anything because all that is for us would never leave. So again, somatically releasing through softness, awareness, and not force. So just noticing in your body, where do I feel complete? Where am I still holding? And what would softening look like? So let's get into a little bit of something to bring this presence in instead of just sitting here and being in our brains. Okay. So take a deep breath in, find your sits bones. If you're in a chair, maybe plant your feet a little wide instead of leaning forward actively. Maybe lean in deeply into your sits bones, not leaning back, but anchoring down. And as we anchor down and find those sits bones, we connect with the earth, and suddenly we feel a little bit more safe. The root chakra is connected. It's not an external journey into safety. It's all here. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Open your jaw, relax your tongue, make a little sound. Feel free to touch or hold anywhere that feels good. Anywhere you might have held tension, just as a reminder that it is safe to soften. We don't need to become a doormat or a pushover. Your bones hold your containment. Your consciousness holds your containment. Your fascia holds soft, fluid, powerful containment. So keep going like that. Inhale, nose, all the way to full. Let your belly get big. Feel like you've got breath, all air, all the way up to your collarbones. Let your shoulders rise a little, roll them around, flex your spine, put your hands on your thighs, maybe squeeze your hands and breathe your spine forward and back with your shoulders rotating on your pelvis, just tipping and letting your spine move. I'm consciously not using music here so that I can share it more freely, but you can do this little practice anytime. Put on a little rhythm, let your breath go with it, and call yourself back to presence and softness every day, anytime, couple of minutes, Okay. Just noticing what feels a little sticky, a little stiff, and what feels like it flows. Notice we've anchored in through our root. Notice your navel. So just below your belly button, moving that around in circles or swaying. So your root is I'm safe. I am. Your sacral is I create, right? Your solar plexus is your sense of confidence and power, where your will meets divine will and you co-create in divine authority. That's your solar plexus. The heart is your sense of inner peace. Love lives in the heart, but when we overgive, bitterness can form there. So when we come back to inner peace in our heart, we find the love that's present. And that requires awareness of our capacity in each place that we bring ourselves, whether we're overdoing to prove ourselves. And anytime that we over explain, overdo, overgive, we're leaning into our lack of worth, lack of value, lack of presence. And it translates immediately into what comes back to us. So the heart, the heart is also a beautiful place. I call this my red velvet lounge. Any aspects of myself that have been ostracized, have been, the word's not coming to me, put away in the dark, that I've been embarrassed of. Any covert sides of myself that are trying to accomplish their mission and may not be in alignment with who I truly am now can come into my heart. Can hang out in the red velvet lounge. I will happily serve them mocktails. They can totally just hang out in a cozy spot with the basic remembrance that you're welcome back. There's no part of myself that I'm so ashamed of that is not welcome here. And that lends itself to our throat chakra and our voice, when all the parts of ourselves have a cozy place to be, whether they're fully integrated or not. We can begin to speak more freely, more truthfully, more authentically. And feel free to touch these chakras as we're moving through them as well. Breathe with them, move with them. Anything that feels good, You might feel like moving your neck with this one, opening your jaw, making a little bit of sound. So when we speak from our authority and our authenticity, our cells follow. The mind and the body don't know the difference. Body doesn't know the difference between a figment of our imagination and an actual thing we live in 3D reality. So we can command the cells of our beautiful operating system, our beautiful body. Do you have a Mac or a PC? What is the space of your operating system? And we can gently and lovingly command all of our cells, all of my cells come online. My mitochondria light up and hydrate each of my cells. Each of my cells intercommunicate with each other, releasing toxins that get moved freely through my fascia and my lymph system. There are no toxins taking in that sit in my system. Using your voice to command your space. I live a life interconnected with those around me, filled with love and co-creation. Noticing how the mouth and throat all go in here. This is also thyroid. This is also our fascia and our lymphatic. This is the lymphatic drain right here next to the thyroid on the left. So this is all interconnected, detox, and how we speak to ourselves into the world. We have our third eye, where how we receive wisdom and downloads. Pituitary, pineal gland, pineal straight down from the top, pituitary right here. So these glands work together to synchronize and activate our entire glandular system. The pituitary is a tiny little grain of rice size piece, and this is our satellite system to our higher self. Very important. You can even stimulate it by touching the top of your head, rolling your eyes, closing your eyes and rolling them up to your crown. So we're kind of doing third eye and crown at the same time. So intuition and divine connection. Now that we've done that, we're going to do just 3 minutes of a Kundalini pranayama. So what I like to do with this is what we just did with the breath and the noticing is coming into our bodies and into our nervous system. So our whole nervous system can meet the pranayama rather than applying the tool of the breath and hoping the nervous system should catch it. So first, we come into the body, we come into our presence, we acknowledge all of ourselves, also wiggling your toes, moving your feet. Okay. So this pranayama, this breath work is called Tattva, balance beyond stress and duality. So it's perfect for these couple of weeks of waning moon with the Libra energy of coming back into balance. Tattvas are the 5 elements in our bodies: earth, air, fire, water, ether. Don't leave out the ether. So we've got 5 fingers and 5 elements. We're going to press each tip of the finger together. First, we're touching them and then we press. So your elbows get wide, thumbs, a little more space here. Thumb towards the heart, pinky faces out. And then we press on those first knuckles. So you kind of see like, the knuckles pressed against each other like that. Elbows are wide. So you feel a little tension in your arms, but the rest of your body's really relaxed. So you're finding a really neutral seated posture, moving around, okay, coming into that neutral space where your spine rises and your shoulders just kind of drop a little bit more. If you're not there, you may be a little forward. So sit back a little bit more until your navel gently acknowledges that and your spine wants to rise and your shoulders drop. When you find that neutral, your body just kind of drops in. It may not feel natural for you yet. That's totally fine. So do this. Take it, press your fingers. Okay. And we're going to inhale fully and deeply through the nose. You can close your eyes and put them at the third eye point, or if you're able, just a little bit open, focusing at the tip of the nose. It's kind of like a drunken eyes. And the tip of the nose brings that singular focus. If it's too much for your occipital nerve, go gentle. You can focus here or just close your eyes. So we've got our fingers pressed. We're going to inhale fully through the nose. Exhale through the pursed lips, 8 segments.
Are you kidding me? This is like the biggest news in the world.
That'll learn me. Okay. I'm just trying to get my timer up so we can time this. So we're just going to do this for 3 minutes. That's a really beautiful thing about Kundalini yoga. It is so powerful. We create containment for it, and you can make a huge physiological, energetic, emotional shift within a couple of minutes. So here we go again. Inhale through your nose. All the way full, fully into your sits bones, shoulders are dropped, and then we're exhaling through pursed lips in 8 strokes. So the navel, you've sharp pull on the navel with each of those strokes. So there's a little tension at the navel with those. And then inhale nose, all the way to full. Exhale 8 strokes in your pursed lips. So the vagus nerve runs across your lips here, and we're affecting the vagus nerve. Going at your own pace, not forcing your breath. Chin tucks in a little so the back of the neck feels long. Keep going. Big breath in through the nose. Continue pressing on those fingers. Pursing your lips, 8 strokes through the mouth, out. Inhale nose. Going at your own pace. Softening your face as you go. Letting your eyes go deep. There's a lot of elements going on in these. So if you don't get it all, no worries. Just pull together what elements of it you can and just go from there. 40 more seconds. Even if it feels weird, just allowing yourself to drop into this process. Last one. Take a deep breath in. Hold, press on your fingers. Maybe you want to squeeze your root lock. So your chin is tucked in, that's your neck lock, creating a clear space here for blood, energy, spinal fluid to move up into your brain. Squeezing your root, rectum, sex organ, navel. Chinese medicine, that's called the sacral pump, moves energy up the shushmana, the middle of the spine, to bless all of your chakras, your brain. And exhale. Inhale, reach all the way up. If your shoulders are a little funny, just maybe interlace your hands and pull up that way. Really helps. Move, stretch out, open your jaw, move your neck, move your shoulders. Maybe back and forth, side to side, circle, whatever feels good. Open up your jaw some more, maybe stick out your tongue, make a funny face. Just opening up that space, making a funny face just kind of unlocks all of the old energy stuck in our face. Those times where you couldn't show what you were truly feeling on your face. And then, segueing into these moments where we can lean into the commitment of being totally true and present in exactly what's up with us, not masking up, even when life feels thick and tricky. So today we are in the Sagittarius moon. Feel free to just receive that, sit here. Hands can be up or down. Just pause now and just receive all of that. So it's great to just to pause for maybe up to another 3 minutes or just a moment if you have it. Receive that energy. You may notice if you sit here, you may notice an energy moving through your body subtly. You may not. It's okay. Whatever we notice or don't is perfectly perfect for us right now. And also, if we've had a long experience of numbing with foods, with drugs, with TV and media, it may not be right at the present moment to sense every subtle little thing. And we can tap into that a little bit more and a little bit more as we step away from the numbing things and sit in the discomfort a little bit. And it gives it, this lunar cycle, living in the lunar cycle gives us more practice and just being present when it's not totally comfortable and not having to change it. So today's moon is in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is the archer associated with Jupiter, perspective, meaning insight, bigger view. They're um, like Chiron, the the horse that's also a human. The actual word is leaving me right now, and I'm a Sagittarius. I should have that word. So aiming high. Let understanding land instead of seeking out meaning. Notice the silver linings. Sagittarius is very optimistic, but we also want to factor that with discernment and being curious of the truth rather than leaning into illusion and dreamy big visions that may or may not be attainable. Okay, so the Sagittarius energy has big visions, but we have to make sure that we're going to that next step, which is beautiful because Capricorn follows. And Capricorn helps us take the responsibility, create the structure, make the choices with discernment. What am I truly committed to? That's all Capricorn. And Capricorn is going to be with us for Friday's first quarter moon, where we will feel a little bit of that contrast, a little bit of inner conflict about where we're going and what we need to make sure that we are right on track still through release, because we're in the waning moon. Last quarter moon, it's like, what's that thing I don't want to release that's interfering with my soul's commitment? That's going to be Friday in Capricorn's moon. And then over the weekend, we move into Aquarius. So we've got a little bit more of emotional detachment. That's an air sign. Capricorn is an earth sign. Sagittarius is fire. So just notice that as you move through the week, the first part of your week may be more active and more engaged in that fire sense. And then as we come into Capricorn in the last quarter moon, dropping into responsibility and structure, knowing what little tweaks we need to make in order to stay in our trajectory of releasing into softness and totally aligning ourselves with this balance. So we're also, okay, what else was Aquarius before we move into the next one? Aquarius also is really great for clarity and release. Aquarius is unconventional relationships, as far as co-creations. Aquarius is not the energy where we are going to focus on recreating old structures. This is about what can we create in a new and dynamic way? Technology is also brought in with Aquarius as well. So, good space to step back and free yourself from the things that you had overcommitted to that were not in alignment. So beautiful energy coming in after the Capricorn moon too. So that's the lunar energy for the week. We're wrapping up over this next couple of weeks of waning moon. So we got a week and a half about left of the waning moon. Last quarter on Friday. So the Friday after would be the next new moon. So this is about a week and a half of the clan mother weighs the truth. Balance is restored through honest release. So she's not just about noticing the truth, she's about restoration of the beauty way for all and coming back into authenticity and wholeness. In the clan mother story, Weighs the Truth, she was the medicine woman of the tribe, and she had to um, cast a judgment between two women. Running Water, who had noticed, I think her name was Blue Feather. Anyway, one woman had noticed another woman taking too much from the winter stores of food, and every family communally gathers, and every family has an amount that they take. And indigenous ways, people would trust each other to do, what is right for each other. So there was rules about looking away from other people's business, or turning your ear away when private conversations were being made, very different, from today's way. So clan mother Weighs the Truth had to find the solution that would bring the whole community back into wholeness. So one woman was always running her mouth and creating distance between her and others. That's wonderful. Because she was always in other people's business, because she had learned to receive attention when she didn't have enough attention, through pulling other people's, like focusing on other people's wrongdoings. Ultimately, that was not a good way of life for her, because it didn't create real connections and caused her to feel all her life disconnected from the community. The other woman was taking more than her share of food, because she had lost a child to the starving moon the year before. And in her guilt, she didn't want to lose another child. Her sadness and her guilt. So the clan mother created a solution. And this is all on my YouTube channel. You can go listen to it. It's a beautiful story. I just read the story by Jamie Sams. So the woman that spoke too much, the woman that overtook from the stores, had to go into the woods and take more tubers, mushrooms, and harvest twice the amount that she took. And then she would share those and go to each family who had lost a family member in the starving moon in their life, and spend time sharing their grief and their joy. And the Running Water would go with her silently through this whole time. And she was her worker, her co-worker, her partner in that, but she was there silently receiving that. So this lasted a whole year, and these two women became interconnected with each other, interconnected with the joys and the grief of the rest of the tribe. And it totally brought the beauty way back to everyone in the tribe. And everyone felt a deeper sense of connection. So you notice the difference between our quote unquote justice system that we have now and the beauty way, and returning to the beauty way. The beauty way is not about discipline and punishment. It's about recognition of who we all are and where we've come out of balance. And how do we truly heal that? Like in me, noticing the healed me is not reactionary. It is totally enjoying the resources and the connections that I have, and really grounding the standards and the boundaries without constantly running negative cycles around where they're broken. Balance. Yeah. So just taking a moment, a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly. What feels finished? What can I gently release just by not bringing my focus, my attention, my presence there anymore? Where's my responsibility? Where do I not make this somebody else's choice, but my own, to lean into all that grows me, all that makes me feel alive and vibrant and present right now in this moment? So, what's this week about? Simplify, reduce the input. I know I say this a lot, but that's because we're living in a land that's contrary to our natural way of being. So allow space, trust endings, trust the discomfort. It's okay. Don't make everything feel so comfortable the way that you used to. We don't have to patch everything up. We don't need our connective tissues to hold everything together. We can segue into softness. Release, let your shoulders drop. Every time that inclination comes in to tighten, to control, to be overbearing, or, whatever that might be for you, breathe again. Let your shoulders drop. Shake your hands off, brush it off. Whatever you need to do, let yourself smile again. And remember, the universe is working for you. Anything that you let go of, if it's for you, it won't leave. If there's something better, we can honor what's been here and gratefully let it go. This week is about letting the scales settle, our bodies soften, and the cycle complete itself. Sana, waheguru, aho, ashe. And so it is. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you soon.